Okay, first you want to set a timer for 15 minutes to make sure that you have a equal observation time point. So I go ahead and start, and now we just wait patiently for any bees to come in this radius. You stay put in this spot, but if your aerial net can reach out and capture the bee, then that is a safe distance, but you don't want to chase after a bee because that would then be a bias sample.
Corey got to this location by randomly throwing a piece of purple wood that we have there out into the middle of the patch to decide where to go, again to avoid bias. She put the net down on top of the insect and lifted the net up to see if the insect would fly into the net.
It was just a fly, so I'm going to release because that is not what we're sampling today.
Goodbye, fly. Goodbye, fly.
I found that method is specifically easier to catch bombus or larger bees because they are very fast and smart. So that is an easy way to catch them because they're still on the flower and they will fly. Insects want to instinctively fly up.
Right there. Honeybee. Again, place the net down on top of the insect, lift the net, and as you can see, there is a honeybee inside of this net.
And you just want to twist and capture, so it will be easy to place the vial inside and collect them. So if you just lift up, if the honeybee is crawling too close to your hand for comfort, you can lift the net up, and the honeybee will crawl up to the top or fly to the top. And that will also give you plenty of space to squeeze the uncapped vial into the aerial net. And you squeeze the vial through. But I still have a tight squeeze, so if the bee does not get into the vial, the bee cannot escape. And you just work the netting over until the bee goes into the vial here. So now the bee is in the vial.
You can hear it.
And I then will work the vial with the netting on top, still in place, a little bit closer to the mouth of the netting, so it is easier for me to place the cap. But see, look, the bee just got out. So all you need to do is just make sure you have it tight and you can recapture. When I say a tight, I mean a tight grip on the mouth of the netting. So even if the bee does happen to escape, which is okay, you can still work the cap back in.
There you go.
And then you have the cap just lightly, and you can just screw it tight, and you have this vial to collect the next bee. Now, if you have ethanol in the vial, the pollen spores might be corrupted, so you can place some clover into the vial, so then whenever you collect more bees, it's easier to place them into the vial without them stinging each other, eating each other, or fighting. so then they don't damage any important anatomical parts for later for dissection. So the clover or vegetation just distracts them from each other, and they have little nooks and crannies to hide inside the vial. Now, if you don't feel comfortable placing another bee inside the vial, you can use another vial and make sure you just label 1, 2, 3 out of however many vials you have. So if you have 4 vials, make sure you just label 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4, etc. In order to do these timed observations is an aerial net. The difference between an aerial net and a sweep net is that this net has very small holes, so it's mesh, it's breathable, and you can see the bees inside the net, which will make it much easier. This type of net style you do not want to use sweeping into the grass because there are thorns within the grasses and it can tear the netting. So this is different than a sweep net. This is called an aerial net. You will want some ethanol that will make capture easier. The only issue or pitfall with using ethanol is that it will cause the pollen on the pollen packs on the legs to fall off, and that might make sampling for the pollen analysis more difficult later. But if it makes your life easier, go ahead and use 70 to 80% ethanol. You'll want some tubes. It doesn't matter what type of tubes. I prefer the larger ones because it will be easier to catch large bombus or bumblebees. You'll also want a kill jar, which is really easy to kill insects. So you'll just want to put ethyl acetate into this top part. If you do not have a kill jar, it is okay. You don't have to have one, it just makes it easier. And then you'll also, if you like Ziploc bags, that will also be easier if you would like. You can put the net inside and dump the bee in and quickly zip. And just make sure you label what plot and replicate you got captured this from, including the date, your initials, and the location, Macon Ridge, Hill Farm, or Pecan. You'll also need a PVC pipe, wood, or hula hoop to randomly select your location for observation. And if you have one, you may also use an aspirator. An aspirator is used for tinier bees, and you can just point and suck up the tiny bees.